Hey everybody, welcome back to another DesignSpark Electrical tutorial and overview video. This next session is going to cover macro creation. A macro in DesignSpark Electrical or even SolidWorks Electrical is more of a common schematic, something I'm going to use over and over again, and it can be as small or as large as I need it to be. The nice thing about macros is that I can include not just the symbol, but all the metadata built into this connector, these wires, and even this other connector here. I like to call them common schematics. Again, something I'm going to reuse over and over again. In order to create a schematic, the easiest way to do that is by simply highlighting the parts that you want to include. You have to select somewhere on one of the symbols or even one of the wires, and you're going to notice if you left click and drag, you're going to take it and you're going to pull it over into what is called your macros panel. Now before I actually do that, I'm going to go through the macros panel real quick. The default options here, there's a find, so if you have multiple macros you can type in a name and it will appear, and you have other categories that you can organize your macros. You can also create a new macro, so maybe you want to include a new category for organizing them. You most certainly can do that as well. You can include items such as this. So I can take just this one connector with all of its metadata and I can drag it over and create a macro. I can give it a new name. And now I have this macro with all of the metadata built into it, saved off for future use. For a cable assembly like this, maybe I want to organize it in a different fashion. I can grab everything, again, drag it over and drop it until you see the plus sign on the cursor. And I would give it a new name again. Now it does make sense to try to name these and organize these as you build them. Because if you ever decide to upgrade to SolidWorks Electrical, there's a lot more capability that you can use with macros, in particular Excel automation, where you can start to really drive your design from Excel rather than just dropping in these macros. But with that said, the macro capability is extremely powerful. So again, I would recommend organizing these now ahead of time in case you ever get to that point. But besides giving it a name, you can also add it to a specific classification. I'm going to drop it into the drawing automation group. You can add it to a specific library, and you can add a description. And just like that, you now have this assembly that you can add at any point in time for future use. So I can drop that in here. And notice when you drop this in, there is a new wizard that will appear, and you can run through and edit or change certain information. For example, I want to create new marks for this new cable assembly. And just like that, I now have an X3 and an X4 to go along with my X1 and X2. In order to add wire numbering, I would simply have to run through, and now I've just added all new wires to this again. So again, it saves a lot of time being able to organize these. Now, you can take this even a step further if you desire. You do have the ability to edit this macro. On the left-hand side, you can see that now it opened up a brand new sheet, a new schematic sheet with just this macro. And we have the ability to manipulate any of the information inside of this macro. So maybe in one revision of this cable assembly, we have 90-degree back shells on both of these, and another version of it we have 45-degree back shells on both of these connectors, or whatever it may be, what other information you want to add. So you can name that macro based off of what is actually in that particular macro, and manipulate it as necessary, and it's saved to your database. All of this information is saved in the macros manager. So you can see here that cable assembly is now saved as a library feature that we can always recall for later use. Inside of editing the macro itself, we also have our insertion point on where we want that to be placed. In this case here, it is on the pin 1 of this connector, but in some cases you may want to manipulate that. You do have the ability to modify that insertion point, and I've seen a lot of folks will go in and drop that down and make it the 0, mark on the origin for this. And that helps in certain aspects. I personally like, if I'm going to just use a basic macro and drop it in, I like to keep it on the mark here on this connection point. That way it lines up with my grid and my snap spacing within the schematic sheet as I'm moving forward. So again, our macro feature is extremely powerful. You can organize them how you want. I recommend naming them. They are saved off for future use, not just with this project, but with any future project. If you desire to include a macro that you've previously created, you can always add an existing macro to one of your panels on the right-hand side, and you can build up a nice, quick, easy reference for this particular project of all those different macros. So I hope this helps. We'll be covering a lot more detail on some of the other features in the next few videos. So see you next time.